You are tuned in to the Gift of Gab podcast, a podcast where we are intentionally growing, accepting, and becoming the best version of ourselves. We focus on all things healing, wellness, spirituality, self-development, and bettering our relationship with ourselves and others. In every episode, we'll be reflecting on lessons learned through past experiences, setting goals, and helping each other reach our fullest potential. I am your host, Gabrielle Ariana, and welcome to this week's episode. Hello, you guys. Welcome back. It is the Gift of Gab podcast, and I am your host, Gabrielle Ariana. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing week, and let's just get right into it. So, this entire month, on the onset of this month, I decided to start this book. It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So, it's basically a spiritual path to higher creativity. And it's broken down week by week to where there's different activities and things that you do, ways of which you can express yourself creatively, artistically, and also kind of go deep within yourself and things like that, which is really cool. But for the previous week, so for last week, the first week, there was a quote that I had brought to my TikTok, and I talked about it in my TikTok briefly. But it really, really sat with me because I feel like it's this word that people use all the time. And typically when they're using it in a way of which, not really in a positive light, you know, in a sense of like, you had the blank to do this, right? And in the book, it's kind of used in but it's used in a positive way. And it really asks you like to kind of reflect on yourself, right? To just reflect on your actions and the things that you're willing to do and be bold about doing, right? So the quote says, it's the audacity and not talent that gets an artist to the center stage. When I read that, it just really like clicked. It really hit. And so y'all know I like to get definitions, right? So let's get the definition of the word audacity, because whenever I hear the word audacity, people be like, oh, they have the audacity to do this. They have the audacity to do that. Audacity. But people never really use it in such in a positive light, to the point where it's like, to say that someone is audacious almost would sound like an insult and not so much as a compliment. And so when I read that, I was like, let me really look up what audacity actually really means, because I use the word all the time, but I'm never using it in a positive light. And so audacity is a willingness to take bold risk. So you're fearless, you're daring, you're bold, you're brave, you have courage. And so there's also another definition of it is like rude or disrespectful behavior, impudence. So people are typically using it in the negative context versus the positive context. And I like how in the book it's being used in a positive context of really asking you like, or really just telling you like, being audacious is going to get you a lot farther in life, but being audacious in the areas that you want more from, being audacious in life, taking risk in lives, is going to help you become that person you're striving towards becoming. It's going to help you get to the things that you're trying to get to and that you're trying to attain and achieve out of life. And it really, really sat with me, because before, again, like reading this, I would have never thought to say like, I want to be someone who's audacious, or I want to surround myself around people who are audacious, because duality exists. So there's both positive and negative in pretty much anything. It's all about your intentions. But I want someone who's intentionally audacious, who's intentionally bold, who's intentionally fearless. I want to be that person, right? Brave. And it just really it just lit a flame. It did something to me, like truly. So I wanted to talk about it on here and, allow, whoever's listening to kind of reflect on it as well, and really ask yourself, are you an audacious person? And obviously the light and the context of really allowing you to, receive the things that you want out of life and to be the person that you're becoming out of life. And, I reflect and ask myself, like, am I audacious? Do I really put myself out there? Do I take risks? Am I bold? And I could be 100% honest with you and say, like, I am not always a risk taker. Like, I'm not always bold. I'm not always, fearless. Like, I'm fearless, but then I'm also kind of like fearlessly safe in certain things, where it's like, I'm not so quick to just do it. And I don't be having the audacity all the time to do things that I know are actually going to bring me joy, that I know are aligned with who I am and with who I'm becoming, that I know is, what I really want. Like, I don't always have the audacity to align myself with those things and be open to receiving those things. And that's essentially in the light of the context of which I want to talk about here today is, do you have the audacity? Are you audacious enough to really, really take the actions in the areas of which you can to be the person you're becoming, to do the thing that you want to do, to accomplish the goals that you have set aside for yourself, reach the heights that you've been climbing and working towards? Are you being audacious? And when I say audacious, I mean, are you 100% going all in every area of your life, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, etc., to the point where you can say, I did all that I can do, right? So now it's just allowing those audacious acts to just materialize, and you sit back and wait for them to materialize. And I took a look in the mirror and I reflected on my actions and the actions I've taken thus far. It is not to say that you have to go 100% full throttle right here, right now, because, again, resting, relaxing, taking breaks, gas in, brakes. Okay, go take some gas, press the gas, but you're still going to take some breaks, obviously. It's just, are you being intentional with your actions? And that's essentially what I want to say. It's like for me, being audacious and having the audacity to do certain things and be open to certain things is really me being intentional with myself in my actions, and also in a sense holding myself accountable too. Like, let's hold yourself accountable to the point where you can ask, was it bold of me? Was I being bold enough, or was I trying to water it down? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like we sometimes want to water ourselves down, especially to the world, and not be perceived, because it's just so much. And I know for myself, that's how I am. Like, I don't be wanting to be perceived by people. I be wanting to just kind of be this mysterious person. It's like, who is she, right? What is she doing? What does she do? Like, what is it? And I just pop out here and there with things that I do and things that I like and etc. But no, let's all make it our goal and our mission to be audacious, to have the audacity to do the thing that we want to do, that we love doing, that really brings us joy. Let's have the audacity to surround ourselves around people that makes us feel good, right? That are deserving of our energy and our presence. Let's have the audacity to love on ourselves and care for ourselves and be there for ourselves. Let's have the audacity to be open to aligning ourselves with the things that we really want out of life and meeting those new people that we want to be in our circle. Let's have the audacity to put ourselves in rooms and spaces that are a reflection of what you see yourself doing, right? Or see yourself partaking in, or that you really wanting to do in life. And it's a lot, because I kind of low-key associated with just kind of, for me, it's like being seen. Truly, when I think of an audacious person, there's someone who's so bold and they're so fearless that they don't care who is watching them, because they know that out of the 100, it only matters if one was watching them that can really get them to wherever it is that they're trying to go. So allowing yourself to take up space. And it's hard to do that and be someone like that when all you've ever really, known is to play small, is to dim your own light for other people to feel better, or to, make their light a little bit brighter, because that's someone that I used to be. I used to dim my light all the time. And it's hard now that I'm like, putting myself out there, turning my light on, and allowing myself to be seen and heard. And even with my podcast, this is me allowing myself to be heard and seen. Truly, like, this is out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm people are perceiving me based off of these things that I'm talking about, and just this overall podcast. And then, with social media, being on social media, I have a whole YouTube channel and I post things on TikTok. So it's like, I've done it, but I've never done it fearlessly. And bro, the most fearless thing that I've done to where I'm like, I don't care who sees me, I don't care who hears me, is this podcast. Right? That was the most, I had the audacity to really release a podcast and continuously release for a podcast. And so now I'm like, girl, what other areas of your life can you be audacious? Right? Because there are other areas and other ways of which you can really show up for yourself in an audacious way, in a bold way, in a fearless way, in a way that's full of courage, that is 100% going to be the thing that allows you the whatever it is that you want, whatever it is you're striving towards, whatever the opportunity is that's going to really help you in life, that could really just excel your life at any time. Being audacious, I feel like, really gets you there. And people talk about, working hard is what gets people, in spaces and things like that. But I would say it could be them working hard, but it's also probably them just being someone who was audacious enough to just continue to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes and do something different when they learn from whatever the mistake was from doing the thing. Being bold and having the courage to keep going. That's audacious. Those are traits and characteristics of an audacious person, and that can sometimes morph itself into being called like hard work. But really, it's about tenacity. Like, I'm continuously going to keep going. I'm resilient. I'm not allowing things to stop me or hold me back, but I'm only allowing it to then be a lesson that I'm learning as I continue this journey that I'm on, to continue to be bold, to continue to put myself out there, to continue to keep going and keep trying until I reach that thing or that person or whatever that then can really help me and excel my life, right? And so I say all this to say that, when you decide to be intentional with who you are and how you maneuver in the world, I think let's make being audacious the top 5 of the things that you want to do. You want to hold yourself accountable. You want to be honest. You want to have integrity. You want to operate in a space, and a mentality that are of your core values, right? And one of those characteristics and those traits that I think that can really take people a lot farther is audacity, because, when people have the audacity to do a lot of things in life, and most of the times, when you hear about it be the audacity, for me, it's always in a negative light. Like, you have the audacity to do this but not that, right? You have the audacity to utilize your energy in the negative way versus a positive way. You have the audacity to engage in these types of people and these types of things, or to entertain these types of things or people, etc., versus something that actually is going to service you and help you in a positive way, in an excelling way. And it's essentially about choices, right? Which choice are you going to choose to make? Same as you have the audacity to exercise a negative thought or a negative emotion that is going to take you into this negative space or this dark space or a space where you just don't feel good anymore, when you could have just had the courage to not allow those fearful thoughts overpower your positive ones and just exercise the positive one that's actually going to make you feel good and align you in the type of energy and space of receiving experiences that can then continuously give you that same emotion and feeling. So let's be audacious, people. Let's have the audacity to be intentional with ourselves, intentional with other people, and let's have the audacity to just be seen. Let's have the audacity to be fearless and be bold and really live our life to the complete fullest. There's a saying, it was a movie. I can't think of the movie. I think it was The Family That Prays by Tyler Perry. And in the movie, she, one of the characters, she had like Alzheimer's or something, and she had asked a different character, like, hey, are you living or are you existing? And that's a very deep question, because people can be here living their lives, or simply just allowing it to pass by, and you're existing and you're not being audacious enough to just live your life for you, whatever that looks like for you. Live your life for you. Don't go around existing in other people's worlds, because they're living their life. And I think, it takes being a little bit audacious to do that. Being fearless, being someone of courage, being bold, and being brave. So that was it, Just ask yourself, reflect, and allow it to be the audacity for you to get you to wherever it is that you're trying to go. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Gift of Gab podcast. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at @thegiftofgab_pod. I will speak to you all next week. Thank you guys so much. Continue to grow, accept, and become someone greater than you are now.